Hey y'all, so this is my top 5 list of VR games that I'm going to buy and play day one in 2026, and some of them are right around the corner. There were over 40 games announced in the recent VR showcase, and I think it's unrealistic to play all those. If you have a MetaQuest, a lot of them don't look too taxing on the hardware, and a lot of them are co-op based, like Payday, ExoShock, RoboQuest. But that is great because there's a lot of reasons why people don't play VR more. But I think that if you can make games more fun in that space, then maybe more people will play. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. But, you know, I'm a single-player gamer at heart. This is pretty much a spooky list. And we have a lot of great games coming out really soon. So I hope you enjoy. Coming in at number 5, last but not least, we've got the Lightkeepers, and I'm going to be honest, this one's a bit of a mixed bag for me. On paper, the concept is actually really cool. You and your crew head out to these islands exploring dungeons, solving puzzles, and gathering resources. But the real hook is what happens after you bring everything back with you to the lighthouse, and then you have to defend it from waves of enemies, including massive threats like Kraken trying to tear the whole damn thing down. So it's got this blend of exploration and tower defense, which can be really satisfying if the loop feels good. Now, it's only co-op and it's in VR, so if you don't have a group of good friends, this one might not be for you. At number 4, we've got Extra Dimensional, and this one's more of a wild card once again. But from what we've seen so far, it looks like a psychological, reality-bending experience, something that plays with space, perception, and the idea of stepping out of your own dimension. Environments shift, geometry doesn't always make sense, and it feels like the kind of game where you're constantly questioning what's real and what isn't. I guess that's what happens when space rocks are the most valuable resource on the planet. Right now, it looks like this one's coming to pcvr through Steam, which is a bit of a limitation, but at least with QuestLink, it's still very playable if you've got that set up. And honestly, this feels like the kind of game that could really shine on something like the Steam Frame when that comes out. So yeah, this one looks really cool, and the Steam listing currently says it's slated to come out in Q1 of 2026. That's got to be right around the corner, probably before the Steam Frame even comes out. And hey, it looks like we're gearing up for Leon Kennedy one-liners one more time in 2026, so that's very exciting.
I'm here to kick your ass and chew bubblegum.
At number 3, we've got Slender the Arrival, specifically the psvr 2 port, and this one's a bit of a waiting game. Originally planned for May 13th, 2025, launching on all major VR platforms, it ended up getting delayed, likely to give the team more time to really dial in the experience. According to developer Blue Isle Studios and publisher Perp Games, the goal is to fine-tune every aspect and deliver what they're calling the definitive survival horror experience. As of now, there's still no confirmed release date, which makes a potential shadow drop this year very possible. What makes this version stand out is that it's not just a straight port, it's a full reimagining. The game features a complete visual overhaul, with every shadow, material, and character model re-rendered along with a brand new chapter that expands the story. This time you're stepping into the perspective of Charlie Matheson's father, experiencing his descent into one of the most iconic horror scenarios in gaming. It's a fresh angle on a familiar nightmare, and that alone makes it worth playing. Right now, the only place you can really track this is on Steam because that's the only active listing. I couldn't find it on PlayStation Store or Quest. That's where I got most of the details about what they're doing to this game. Steam might be the best way to play this game anyway, especially with the upcoming Steam Frame because of the foveated rendering and pancake lenses. I'm probably going to pick up the PSVR 2 version because that's the headset that I currently own. I just hope the PS5 Pro does some of the heavy lifting so we can truly enjoy all of those texture upgrades that are coming for us no matter how you choose to play. At number 2, we've got Out of Sight, again, specifically the PSVR 2 port, because this one has been out on Steam since May of 2025, but it's basically a playable beta. Based on the comments, the people who have jumped in seem to give the game high praise, comparing it to Little Nightmares because of the sense of scale and dread, but personally, I'm holding out for the PSVR 2 port. I'm happy that there are people willing to pay to play the game that's still in development. The developers definitely need that feedback, but something must be troubling Flat to VR Studios because the Steam listing said it was supposed to come out in Q4 of 2025, and it's 2026 now and we still don't have it. In this game, you guide Sophie through a crumbling mansion, but instead of seeing through her eyes, you see through her teddy bear. It's a second-person VR experience where you position yourself strategically, scout danger, solve puzzles, and help her to avoid these terrifying figures that are hunting her. The twist here, and how it differentiates itself from Little Nightmares, is how you interact with the world. It's less about controlling the character directly and more about guiding and protecting her from outside of her body. Right now it's just $25 on Steam. If you want, you can jump in and play early if you have no patience. But I'm waiting for the full PSVR 2 release because that headset will have haptic feedback and the dark mansion will look good on those OLED displays. This feels like the kind of game that's going to hit way harder on PlayStation anyway. And honestly, if we get Little Nightmares and Out of Sight VR in the same year, yeah, we eating good. Alright, so for number one, the game that I'm looking forward to the most in 2026 is Little Nightmares Altered Echoes for PSVR 2. This time, you're stepping into the world in first person, and that alone completely changes what this game can be, because Little Nightmares has never just been about puzzles or stealth, it's always been about perspective. These games are built around the idea of being small, powerless, and trapped in a world that feels way too big and way too hostile. And a lot of that isn't just visuals, it's symbolic. The monsters, the environments, they represent trauma, control, the way childhood fears get distorted into something much bigger than they really are. And we've already seen this in Little Nightmares 3, where the story leans into things like loneliness, abuse, and trying to escape the past. So bringing that into VR, that's where this gets really interesting, because now you're not just watching those ideas play out, and instead you're inside of them. When something is towering over you in VR, that sense of scale becomes physical. Hiding, moving carefully, trying not to be seen. It's not about just gameplay anymore, it's about tension that you actually feel. If they can capture that atmosphere and translate it properly into VR, this could easily be one of the most immersive and unsettling horror experiences in this medium.